Hey, it's me, Reb D. Be blessed by watching Gold Table Talk. Listen to this powerful conversation. Go out to my website and listen to my podcast. We're going to talk about today focal points, roadmaps, and timeline. Listen.
I always have to explain what that 2020 means. No, it is not the year. It is not the year. I see you, Phaedra. It is not the year. It's you having a 2020 vision for yourself. You know, God knows all about what He wants us to do, and we come here at Gold Table Talk, and we just work out our purpose because we want to be all that God would have us to be. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to be letting in some folks because you have to get admitted into it. And I have to teach a Zoom class. Okay, Rhonda. Okay. Absolutely. And I see Sister Jacqueline there. God bless you. Thank you for coming out tonight. And how many of you know time is our most precious and valuable currency? And I have no plans to waste anybody's time. I got my bling clock right here. I have no plans to waste your time because you got some goals to do. And I don't want to waste your time. I just want to empower you and tell you to just keep going. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm not going to waste your time. I don't know if many of you are sure what coaching is all about. I am a minister of the gospel, and coaching is another piece of what I do as far as ministry. Coaching is about facilitating growth and change. And that's what we're about. We're about growth and change. And I pretty much am guiding. I'm just guiding. And I enjoy doing it because we're all doing different things, but the principles apply to whatever you're doing. You know, I always like to read Proverbs 15:22, where it reads, "Plans fail for the lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed." And I'm just someone that wants to see you make it. I want to see you make it. So I'm on your team. And I just want to welcome some of the people I see here. I see some new people here, and I'm just so excited that you have taken the time to be with the gold diggers, because that's what we are. We've been doing this now since last August, and I'm telling you, the testimonies get you crying. So if you have one, like fake lashes, anything like that, we can really get crazy up in here, and tears of joy. Okay, we have stroke survivors. We have a lot of people on this call who have really been able to beat the odds and continue on with what God would have them to do. So we're just excited tonight, and we're just going to move on. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to share this. Okay, well, they're all showing, so I can just speak to the ones that I need to speak to. First of all, once again, Gold Table Talk is about looking at yourself and really working out your purpose as God would have it for you. So our first slide, I just love the power of being empowered. You know, I can't listen enough to people that will charge my spirit and get me rolling. I just love to listen to great preaching, motivation speakers, anyone that can help me to escape all these worries and cares of the world that can really take our minds off our goal and purpose. And so I can never get enough. So I certainly enjoy doing what I do. So one of the things I'm going to be talking about tonight is focal point, roadmap, and timeline. Focal points, roadmap, and timeline. And, you know, staying focused, like I said, it's not easy. But what do you do to stay focused on your goals? And I know we have our own ways of doing what we do. None of us are new at goals. None of us are new at goals. But staying focused through the week, that can be a challenge. And that's why I like to do Goal Table Talk actually on Monday, so we can just get charged for the week. Goal Table Talk is a benefit for all goal diggers because it keeps us motivated, it keeps us excited. The conversations just really stimulate us in a way that we can't wait to come back next Monday to talk about progress because we want to make progress, And, we're a group of women that of all ages, we're all doing, different things. Some of us are, going to school. Some of us are doing some self-development activities. And, some of you may be getting the necessary licenses for your businesses or you're an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs are great. I find myself, supporting so many entrepreneurs because I just think it's a wonderful thing when we can embark on our own businesses. Angela has her own business. Hiawatha has her own business. And I just think this is just wonderful. So another thing about Gold Diggers, we're a network. We are a network and cheerleaders to support one another. So we just love doing that. So one thing about, income, we have our job, but, I was listening to a seminar of an acclaimed accountant, and she talked about having 5 streams of income. We all should have, 5 or more streams of income. And she talked about the many different ways that we can do that. So some of us are getting to retirement age and are looking to create financial security by adding other streams of income. So that's what these entrepreneurs are doing. They're working a day job, they have their businesses, people have investment property. I have a girlfriend, Leah, that's a gold digger that's here. She's going to do a whole session with us on just investing in property. And some people are embarking on franchises for another stream of income, and also writing books. Writing books is another way to earn revenue. So the coach that actually trained me, my coach, she had a whole big thing last Thursday about writing a book, and it was so rewarding. So there's so many ways that we can, make money and create positive change. I always say a better you makes a better world. And everything is not always about money, goals to evolve and give back. This is very important as well. I like to, I gave my service to my home church for many years, Community Baptist Church. And, being there all those years led me in to become an ordained minister. I also volunteered for the Red Cross for many years. Actually after 9/11, that's what got me involved in joining the Red Cross. And then, after that, I got trained for disaster services. And then I did that kind of work for a long time, and then Katrina hit, and, I was deployed the day after that and was able to apply all that training. So, everything is not always, goals are not all money driven. Some of them are really about volunteering. My mother is on the line here, and my mother does great volunteer work, and maybe later she'll tell us more about her project on making mats for the homeless, and she has a goal. She had a goal that she had to get a certain amount of bags so she could, make these mats for the homeless. So, we're all on here for all types of things. And you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself that, that it's important to stay focused And once again, we have gone through a year of madness. I mean, totally madness with the coronavirus. And, I just feel like we're on our way back up, and let us, get back to what we were doing, or let's just move forward, because, Corona really has sparked some new ideas in people. I mean, look at us now. I didn't even know about Zoom and until the coronavirus. And now everything I do is there's some type of conference video like this with my job and everything else. So a lot has come out of what has happened, but let us, learn and take something positive to move on. So once again, I wanted to talk about your focal point, your focal point. And, when you have your plan, you write it out, you pray, and, for many of us, we pray and we watch it unfold through not just our efforts, but from God's blessing, from God's blessing. And I have a slide that says, what is your focal point to stay on track? And that's some of the things we want to share tonight. I just want you to put that question in your mind, and we'll come back to it, because this is how we share the different ways that people are staying focused on their goals, because everyday life, there's so many things to distract us. So, what is your star? We want you to keep your eye on the prize. So I'm going to tell you a little story now about what I do. Okay. I'm a project manager, and, I have a job now that I'm getting. They pay me for my years of experience, but what they really pay me for is my project management skills. Okay. Because I work for a software company, and what happens is the sales team sells our product, and then once they sell it to a company, then that comes to me, and then I have to get a team to implement this software in their environment. And it's a very delicate and a very precious job, but I've been doing it a while, so I have a little bit more confidence in what I'm doing. But the way we get to how we execute that software in the environment is a whole big thing. Okay, so we have to put a project plan together, and one of the softwares that I use is Microsoft Project. And I don't know who on here uses Microsoft Project, but I use it on my job for projects that they give me. But I find it very helpful to use it for my own goals and projects as well. So I don't know if anyone actually uses that tool, but there's something very good in there. Once you have all the steps of everything that you have to do, right? You have all the tasks that have to be done. The one thing that Microsoft Project is so great at is the duration, because you want to have a goal that has an end date, because you want to be able to say, I'm targeting this end date. So this helps me, and that's why I'm bringing it up. Some people are probably, I don't know what tools you're using to stay on track. But if you write down all the tasks, and for me, I'm a visual person. So if I'm not writing down tasks, I can look like, I don't want to use this analogy, but I can use like a detective that has pictures all over the wall. Pictures all over the wall, and then I'm connecting what needs to be done and how long it's going to take me to do that. It looks pretty much like a vision board, but it's really a video of the goal I'm trying to meet, and it's very helpful. So with that being said, with each task that has to be done, you put time to it. Well, this is going to take me 3 weeks, and this is going to take me however long. And then by the time you add it all up, you have now a timeline, and you can have a tentative timeline. At least you know, okay, this is going to take me a while. It's so funny because many of you know I'm transparent. I had my first child very young. I had my first child at 18 years old, right? Went right to a trade school, learned computers. And in my life, I said, you know what? I'm going to get my college degree. But I planned that out. I had a family. The kids had to go to school. The kids had to go to college. And before you know it, time just got away from me. And guess what? I still hadn't done it yet. So I said, you know what? By 50 or 45, I should have my college degree. So I'm already mentally putting it in my head, even though I'm going to school for all kind of computer stuff, but it's not accredited for me to get this degree. So, but I had to do what I had to do for the job. So make a long story short, life gets in the way, okay? We can make a tentative timeline, but we have to also encounter things going on in life. And my degree got pushed off by some tragic things that happened in my life. I had lost both of my in-laws back to back, 6 months apart, and then had to take care of their parents. One of them, both their parents were living, and the other one, just the mother was living. And my mother-in-law was the caregiver for her, and and she had what we call Alzheimer's. So it was a lot. So that kind of pushed back. And I talk about that because God, I had plans, but God had plans. And I didn't get discouraged because I felt like what I was doing was so significant than what I was trying to do. I'll get back to that. So I say that, life can get in the way, and sometimes we just have to, just go with it. But, it happens. But get back on track. And that's what I did. After that happened, life kind of eased out again. And I said, all right, well, maybe it's time for me to, take this degree project off the shelf and get back to it, And it was a lot. And because in ministry, you want to have the right credentials to move further. And all my colleagues had all kinds of credentials, and I just wanted to, what they say, show myself. So, education was very important to me, and I wanted to finish. And I finally got to that point, and of course, I did finish my degree. I do want to go on and get my other credentials, but I just share that story about a duration of time. Something can take a short-term amount of time, and then there's some things that can take a whole lot longer. And either way, we still have to put a date and a timeline to it, because once you do that, you know what that does to you? It makes you accountable. Now, you're accountable to do what you said you were going to set out to do, and that's why it's so important. I always, tell people, if you don't want to write it down, do what makes you remember. Do what makes you remember, and stay with your focal point and, and your timeline. So I'm going to open up the floor here, and we're going to get talking. Rollbacks are fun, love mapping out how, like I was saying before, how it's going to get done. But it's so important that we have roadmaps, we have to not just have a roadmap, we need to have something that's going to keep us accountable for what we have to do. And then we can look at those roadmaps and see how far we are down the line. It's almost like playing a game where you can just put it here. So, okay, now I moved up here, and now I moved up here. And I just think it makes it fun and interesting when we're working on something that we've never done before, when we have ventured out into the deep and we're going to do something that is just going to just be amazing, and that can be a little scary, but at the same time, it could also be such an adventurous experience. So, that's what I want to say about that. Now, we have a lot of gold diggers that are on the line, a lot of them that are here week to week, and I thank you, and I pray that you're getting something from these sessions. But I'm going to pick on my sister Deborah tonight. And Deborah, can you share with us the goal that you are working on?
Okay. Well, I'm trying to get my real estate license. Okay. Do you hear me? Because I'm having. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So April 5th, I'm supposed to start the class, and I'm supposed to be finished. It's only 2 months class, and hopefully I could take the state test in June. And once I pass the test, and then I can start working on getting with a real estate company. So I'm doing that. I'm saying I'm giving myself 4 months to to get my real estate license for the state of Georgia. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
That's awesome. I know someone who just did it.
Oh, good.
While doing her full-time job here in Georgia. She did it, she studied, and she was kind of putting it on Facebook and sharing her studying. And she's like, I'm taking the test, pray for me. And yeah, and she just did it. So if she can do it, you can do it.
Now. Yes,
yeah.
I'm studying now. I got this Audible book, and I'm learning the definitions, the language. So I am very confident I will get past the class to get my license.
Mm-hmm. Deborah, I just want to say that there's a childhood friend of mine who's joining us this evening, Jackie Powell. She's from Roosevelt. She is a real estate agent herself.
Okay.
So it's so odd that that's the one thing that you're talking about doing. And we have somebody on the line who's experienced with it. I'm sure if you guys make a connection, you have any questions, she'll be glad to help you out.
I would love
Deborah,
to connect.
Let me ask you a question, Deborah. And thank you for sharing what you are doing. On a scale of 1 to 10, what progress have you made so far in achieving your goal?
Well, I have been studying. I got a book on real estate, and I've been studying it, learning the language. So once I start school, it won't be so foreign.
So maybe you're at number 2. On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe you're at 2, you're in preparation.
Yes.
You're in preparation.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, how will you, okay, I'm going to ask you another question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to carry out this action and achieve your goal?
Well, I think I'm at 10 because...
See, that's beautiful.
Because I'm in my 50s. Now, I tried this 20 years ago, and I was not mature enough. It's just, it wasn't my number one. So right now, in my 50s, I want to retire in 10 years. I want something to do. And I think real estate is the thing to do.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So by what date do you feel that you would have achieved this goal? What's your timeline?
I'm guessing. No, I'm not guessing. I will have my license in June. And that's in June. Yes.
You're claiming that. You claiming
I
that.
am claiming it.
Okay.
Exactly.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, that's what we have to do all the time, is to assess where we are on the journey. So thank you for sharing that. I want to ask anyone else, does anyone else want to share where they're at on their journey with us, on what you're working on? Phaedra, I can only imagine what you're working on now. I can only imagine. So maybe you'll share with us, or Ronnie, you will share with us?
I'll share, because I'm going to have to log off. This is really interesting. I'm having a lot of fun, but I have to teach a class. But as the pandemic began and all the world was upside down and with me being an educator, I knew that I looked at my calendar, and I'm looking at, getting ready to retire and what else I want to do, but I want to do something else fulfilling. I love to teach. I've been in the public school system, being a professor and so on and so forth. All that was all well and good, but then I had to think about where I am in ministry. And one of the things that I wanted to do, not only on the practical side, but also on the spiritual side, I wanted to be a psychologist. So what happened is I was in a situation when I was doing behavioral sciences and so on and so forth, and counseling in school, and I finally got into seminary.
Wow,
and
nice.
I got into seminary, and
Congratulations.
Thank you. I put a goal. I started last January, and I'm getting my doctorate in psychology. So I am so excited because God is opening up doors. But one of the things that once God told me this is what he wanted me to do, I thought about all of the problems. And when I thought about all the problems, I'm like, oh, you're too old to go back to school. You're going to do this. You're going to do it. And God told me to stop focusing on the problems and focus on the promise. Once I began to focus on the promise, now I'm in the process of going for my purpose. So that's where I am right now.
Okay, so don't focus on the problem. Focus on the promise.
Well, on the promise, so that God will allow you to tonight. Go into your purpose. Okay. So I started January of 2020. I set a goal, what I was going to do. I had 32 credits that I have to complete in order to receive my doctorate, and I've already completed 16.
Wow.
16.
Wow.
So I plan on being finished at the end of this year.
The end of when?
This year.
Rhonda, I have no doubt that you will achieve that goal. Yes. When I think of the gold diggers in my life, you are definitely one. I've always seen you put your hand to something and you do it. So God bless you, and thank you for popping in on us and blessing us with that.
Thank you.
Please show up again. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Be encouraged, everybody.
God bless you. All right. That was New York in the house there. Okay. Anybody else want to share their journey?
I went to a PWI, and that's a predominantly white institution. And so when I first got into the program, I was 1/3 of the Black population. Literally, it was me and 2 other Black females. Wow. And when it came around time for me to graduate, we have to do like a senior capstone. And I found out that all the plays that they did like, it's called period pieces, meaning like from different eras. And so a lot of them were like from the 1800s and long time ago. And I was like, I can't act in that. What am I going to be, like the slave or servant or something like that? And I just wasn't going to have it. I wasn't going to have it. I came from a community of Black excellence, and I was not going to come down to Nashville, to this brand new place, and just not present the best that Black people have to offer. And I talked to the chairperson of my department, and I expressed my concern for that. And it took some time, but my graduating year, they put together their first Black play at the school, where they were able to have all the students actually be part of the play. And it was a learning experience for everyone. The white people had to learn how to do Black hair, had to learn how to do Black makeup. They had to learn what a hot comb was. Oh, it was joyful to have them figure that out. But it was fun, but it wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And Reverend Mason was able to come and be there. And also the other Black students, were able to view this play, and they were proud because it was an actual story about Black life, and it wasn't something demeaning. And actually it was the opening of the Diversity Week and Parents Weekend. So we have all these parents coming in who wants to, have their children come to this school, and they came to see it. And every show, it ran for 2 weeks, was sold out. And so that just goes to show that people really wanted to, it was an audience for it, and they could do more shows because it really did sell.
Wow. Phaedra, I mean, just for you to say, no, I can't do this, and challenge them, and that's what I like. Sometimes we accept what's going on around us, even in corporate America, women for a long time accepted stuff, but that in the last 2 years, we have just exploded in a whole lot of areas, and certainly in government. But we don't have to accept these situations that we're in. We can make change, and you've made a lasting change. The school will never be the same because it was the first of its kind, and you were the first of their kind coming there with this type of motivation and saying, hey, we got to go up higher, and when you talked about Black excellence, when that that's what it's about, if I perform well, then we all perform well. And this is so beautiful. And for you to, be a young person to know that and to make yourself, do what you did is so impressive. And I'm so proud of you. I read Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. And one of the things she said that really resonated with me was when she took this role, she knew that they had to represent, and what an attitude, had to represent those ancestors, had to represent those people that died so they could be where they are, and when you start thinking like that, it's not just about me. It's about, if I win, we all win. And I just think for a young person like yourself, you really, you blew me away. That's all I'm gonna say. I know you just blowing your parents away, but I'm like, my God, this Phaedra is full of goals. You're full of meaningful goals. And I tease you, like, I'm not sure if you're running for president, but you should. Because you're so goal-minded. And before I move on, is there any goal that you have set to either make change or maybe embark on business or anything else you're working on?
Well, not necessarily right now, but I just kind of want to piggyback off of that. Because of that show, the theater department, we actually won Best College Performance in the state of Tennessee, in Nashville.
Wow.
And we won it a year later because the person who wrote it was like, I saw this and this is still stuck in my mind. And also, like, my school is on a plantation. So it was really meaningful for me to just make sure that we come with excellence. So, yeah. But as of now, I'm just trying to be as creative as I can. I don't have anything like direct, but I just try to be creative.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for coming on. And yes, let's just give her a hand. We got to give her a hand. And, it's testimonies like that really can spark something in somebody else. You never know who's listening, and it, God can use anybody to keep us going, so thank you so much for sharing that.